Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing the Jeep Grand Wagoneer L. Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Large Miller Jeep here in Sandy for giving me some time with this Grand Wagoneer. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a twin-turbo 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 14 around town, 20 on the highway, with power outputs being 540 horsepower and then 521 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So taking a look at the hood of the Grand Wagoneer, pretty simplistic. I like that little blacked out piece there at the top, and then the headlight design, nothing too crazy with it. It's got this kind of cool carbon fiber trim there inside the bezel. You've got Wagoneer there on the fancy grille, and this one's an Obsidian package, so everything's blacked out. We got fog lights down below, parking sensors as well, and there's the front end. Tire wheel setup is 285 by 45 by 22, and you can see you've got the silver there with the metallic gray on the wheels, Wagoneer there in the center, and this does come equipped with air suspension. We've got these nice painted fender flares. You can see Grand Wagoneer there on the side. We've got the blacked out mirror cap, blacked out roof as well, and then we'll take a few steps back. There's your side profile. Now this leads us to the key fob. It says Grand Wagoneer there on the back. We have our lock and unlock function, remote start. You got the lowering for the air suspension, and then the opening for the rear hatch, which, look at this, boom. So with the L, you've got tons of space. This has the third row folded down right now. And I mean, you could literally sleep back there with the second row still folded up with how much space there is. And then you notice the third row passengers have some nice trim to rest their arm on. You've got USB ports. You also have the recline seat function. Now getting the third row up is pretty darn easy. So just press those two buttons, one touch. You don't have to hold them down, which is always a nice feature. And not as quick as GM's, but pretty darn quick overall. Now taking a look at the rear of the Grand Wagoneer, really cool looking taillights. This is Grand Wagoneer there on the back, and got the little bezel that covers the receiver hitch at the bottom, but there's the back. This leads us inside, where got nice trim here at the top, sunshade for the rear passengers. See more nice trim down below, and yeah, it's even padded in that bottom section. Power side steps here, and then here are the seats, really nice trim on them. We've got TVs here in the back, and then you can see got a little screen for the climate controls. You got USB ports there, outlet as well. And I'm actually gonna press this. So I move the seat forward. You can see with the third row, really nice trim. Tons of legroom with the seat. They also get their own sunroof in the back, which is pretty bougie. And yeah, just good space in general. Now just to quickly show you, got good legroom here in the second row. And I noticed there's leather on the grab handle. Like, look at that. Now popping up front, you'll notice that, again, got all the soft touch there. All of our window controls, notice those two, or rather all four are automatic. The mirrors, you can power fold them in. Seat adjustments on the door, just like a Mercedes. Massage seat function, you got memory seat function, blind spot monitoring. If you're wondering on payload, $14.69. And then here's the front seat. Pretty cool looking. It's power adjustable with the steering wheel. You've got your pedal adjustments there, light controls as well. Soft touch all across the dash. And so taking a look at the steering wheel, you've got stitching around the airbag cover. It says Grand Wagoneer, pretty fancy trim overall. There are rated controls in the back of the steering wheel. You've got your gear limiter function, which will make it so it won't go above a certain gear. Adaptive cruise control there with the lane centering. Controls for the center stack, and then just traditional stocks there on either side. Now it comes to the gauge cluster itself, fully digital, which means you can customize what this displays information wise. Again, pretty standard in today's world. Most cars have something like this, and then it will give you a little kind of display there when you change the drive modes. Now this does come with a 360 camera system, which you can use to see out of a bunch of different angles here with the Grand Wagoneer. And then the top screen, yes, top screen, has shortcuts for like the heated seats, for example. Just press that and that'll turn that on. See for the heated steering wheel. We've got our tri-zone climate, so dual zone for the front, and you've got the climate zone in the rear, which you can access right there. Also have the massage seat function. Oh, it's because it's off. That's why it's not. Anyways, but yeah, it's all easy to use for the most part. You've got physical climate control buttons down below. And then we've got the secondary screen, which, yeah, controls a lot of stuff that you can control on the top screen. But it's a secondary screen. And yeah, you press that button and that'll make the screen move away. This is our charging area. So a bunch of USB ports, charging pad and all of that. And then you do have a bunch of physical controls, so at least they give you that. Some main stuff, you got parking assist right there. You can see this is turn on the passenger screen. They're off to the side, and you can turn on your auto hold if you want. And then obviously to bring the screen back, just press that button again. And like I said, there's a passenger screen. So basically kind of, yeah, just another little infotainment system. Anyways, dial shifter here for the 8-speed, drive mode select, and then you've got your air suspension right next to it to raise and lower the vehicle. Got lots of storage here. Oh, it's a cool box, which we don't need that on, but definitely a nice feature, very Range Rover-esque. Nice trim all across the dash. We also have a camera rear view mirror. You've got the headliner, which is pretty nice looking, and then a panoramic center. Now this leads us to the window sticker. There's quite a bit of glare, but anyways, this is an L Obsidian, $107,830 is the total MSRP. And let's see how it performs. The heat coming in, nice. So, let us set off in the Grand Wagoneer. Just drove a Wagoneer before this, so I'll tell you guys differences. Sound system's a big difference, right? This has the big fancy sound system, and obviously the trim, right? Like this has a really nice soft touch headliner. And then sound insulation. Glass is definitely thicker in this, for example, so less comes through into the cabin, which is nice. Very smooth. Air suspension does make a pretty big difference. What it really does is stuff that would normally compress the springs in a regular car with air suspension, it's still compressing it, but because it's compressing air versus a spring, you just feel less, which is nice. So it makes it more luxurious. And the inline six is very smooth. The thing I like about this engine is it's got a lot of low-end torque, and we're 500 pound-feet of torque. So you can just kind of ease into the throttle, and it just does the work that it needs to do. Yeah, this is super comfortable. It's quiet too. This does a great job at being a luxury car. Now I will say this air suspension isn't quite as comfortable as GM's newest stuff with the Escalade and the Yukon. That air suspension's like just extra comfy, but this is good enough. Definitely good enough. Yeah, auto stop start's pretty seamless there. Now the thing that's nice about this engine versus like a turbo V6 is it just keeps pulling linearly through the red line, so it's just smooth all the way through. It doesn't start to get rough like what you see with a V6, for example. Yeah, it's quick. It is quick. And 540 horsepower, so expect it to be pretty quick. Overall, I would say that this is comfortable. I think it looks nice with this Obsidian package. There's nothing that I can really say bad about this other than it doesn't have the name Escalade, right? Navigator. So I think that's the biggest thing going against Jeep. And then also, they just too many gimmicks. I will say that. Like, putting everything into a screen, I mean, let me know if I'm off on this, but I don't think I am. I don't think people want that. I think that people want, you know, probably this one. Obviously, infotainment system, people want a touch screen for that. But like the passenger screen, okay, maybe that in the Grand Wagoneer. But this, no. And then I mean, I support camera rear view mirrors. And then the screen there on the back, I don't know. I think it's too much. Like I get the TVs in the back for the kids, right? Some people like to have that. But yeah, I think it's just a little bit too much screen. And it's like, I don't know. I think I'd rather have less screen and a lower price. It's my 2 cents on that. And would you look at this Jeep's 4-wheel drive system working its magic. Being funny. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Grand Wagoneer.